Hello everyone, welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Katie, and today I am doing my April reading wrap-up. I do apologize if this video is so late. As most of you know, I was sick in the beginning, like end of April, early May, so I wasn't able to film a reading wrap-up, but I took a poll on my channel and most of you wanted a reading wrap-up, so I'm happy to do one. My thoughts might not be as collected if I did it closer to the end of the month, but we're gonna roll with it. So I actually have all my pictures printed out. Quick view. I always try to put them with star rating from 1 to 5 stars. We always start with 1 star, working our way up to the best books of the month. And this month, or last month, wasn't so hot. I found some really good ones and a lot of just books that were just kind of, they were okay, but they weren't the greatest. So I have 1 star. I have 5 2 stars. That's not that good. I have 6 3 stars, 3 4 stars, and actually 4 4 stars. I forgot to put one on here. And then 4 5 stars. So I read a lot last month. So we're going to try to go as quickly as possible. I might not have so many thoughts on some of these, but we're going to work with it. Okay. And also I don't have physical copies of a lot of these books because they were library books. So the first one that I'm going to talk about is my 1 star, which I'm very sad about, but it happens. I actually bumped my rating down, which I hardly ever do. If not ever, like I don't. It's The Enlightenment of Bees by Rachel Linden. It is published under a Christian publisher. I thought it was going to be great, and it really wasn't. The writing was good. I will give the author that. The writing was good. The storyline was pretty good, but there was no faith content at all. And sometimes I'm okay with that. I'm okay with just a clean book published by a Christian company, but this one, like, there was so many chances for her to mention God. Like, there was so many problems that the main character had. The author could have written in that God helped her, or she asked God for help and he helped her, and none of that. Like, it stepped up and then, like, they just kind of clicked away from it, and there was no mention of God or faith at all. And the enlightenment part of the title should have given a clue, because it was very new age feeling, and I was like, this should not be in Christian fiction, like, at all. So my rating went down from a 3 down to a 1. That was my only 1 star. And now for 2 stars. I'm very upset that this book was only 2 stars, but I read Orion Lost by Alistair Chisholm. I think I'm pronouncing that right. But I read this one. I was so looking forward to this book because I thought everybody loved it. I was going to love it because I normally like hyped up middle grade books. This one just missed the mark for me. I'm so sad because this one just felt like, I love sci-fi. I don't read it very often, but when I do, I usually love it. Kind of felt like a Star Trek episode, and it kind of was just a little kind of on the boring side. Like, I felt like there could be more going on, and I just really wasn't invested in it, since I honestly prefer the Star Trek TV show over this book because it was not for me. And the next 2 star is Morning Haiku by Sonia Sanchez. This was a haiku book, my very first one. This is about kind of just I guess an homage to famous African Americans throughout history. And I don't think I'm a fan of haikus. I do like poetry sometimes, but haikus I don't think are for me. At least this book wasn't. It was okay, but I think the pacing of haikus, because I think it's like you have to have like 5 syllables in one line and stuff, and sometimes just the pacing or the wording can seem off because you're trying to fit like only so much in one line, and instead of poetry where you can just have a fluidity and a flow to it, and haiku is just not for me, I don't think. Okay, so the next one that I'm going to talk about is Once Upon a Wardrobe by Patty Callahan, and this one was only 2 stars as well, which made me so sad because I love Chronicles of Narnia. It's one of my most favorite series of all time, and so I was like, oh, this is great. It's going to be about C.S. Lewis, and I just found it very slow paced, like very, very slow paced. And I felt like she really didn't talk about any of the faith that C.S. Lewis had. You know, I think this was like kind of written where like he very first like started writing the Chronicles of Narnia, but it didn't really talk about the faith that he had while writing it, and you know how much he loved the Lord. Because if you read Chronicles of Narnia, you can tell he has a lot of knowledge of the Bible. Okay, the next one, I have a big book here. This is a compilation of Jane Austen, but I listened to the audiobook for Emma because some classics I have to listen through audio, but I have a feeling that I wasn't paying attention in Emma because I just found it so boring, except for like the last maybe half hour to hour of the audio was okay, but Emma's just about a girl who kind of is a matchmaker. She matches everybody else up, and she thinks, you know, oh, I don't care if I find anybody, but I just love matching people up. But it was so boring. And that was actually my very first Jane Austen, which I have heard Emma is one of her slower books, at least by a few people. So I'm gonna try a couple more. I definitely think I am going to be continuing to listen to the audiobook versions because I don't think I can dry read these. It wasn't the greatest classic for me, which is unfortunate because I love the movies, but that just wasn't for me. Those were the last, no, one more 2-star, but I kind of gonna combine with 3-star because they were a duology. So the first one was The Mystery of Black Hollow Lane, and the second one is The Secret of Whitestone Gate, both by Julia Noble. And I listened to both on audio. I gave the first book three stars, and then the second book 2 stars. I feel like I missed something when I was listening to those audiobooks, and I don't know if it was just me or there really was like either there's supposed to be another book coming out or something was going on. But it's all about a girl who's in a boarding school across the ocean, and she just finds a mystery in the boarding school, kind of linking her father to like this secret society in this school. But to me, it was like, okay, there's either supposed to be a third book or we're missing something, because it was all about kind of like how they wanted something that this girl had in her possession that her father gave her. But do we even know like what this does or what they're trying to find? Because I feel like I either missed something in the audio or I don't know, like it's just, that's why I kind of gave the second book 2 stars. I was like, am I missing something or did they not tell us what was going on? So that was my take on it. And yeah, so if you've read those books, let me know if I did miss something, because I have no idea what the secret society is even supposed to be doing. So those two books just left me completely confused. The next book I'm going to talk about is Alone by Megan E. Freeman. I believe this was a free verse novel, I believe. I listened to the audiobook, and I love the premise of it. I love that this girl, she is going on a sleepover with her friends, and they're kind of going to tell their parents that they're staying at the other kid's house in order to kind of spend some alone time at her grandmother's apartment just to watch old movies and eat popcorn and have fun. But her friends end up canceling, and she's left alone at her grandmother's apartment. And somehow, for some reason, the entire town, while she's sleeping at night, vanishes. Everybody is gone. Everybody just leaves. And I guess the town is in a panic over some kind of disaster going to happen or is happening, and everyone is just gone. She can't get a hold of her mom and dad, and she is left alone, I think it's a good long time. It's like 1.5 years, 2 years, and it's only her and a dog that she finds, and she has to literally survive on her own all this time because she can't get a hold of anybody. And the mom thinks that she's with the dad, and the dad thinks she's with the mom because that's what she told them. So, and they're divorced, so they don't know what's going on. And so yeah, I found it a little bit heartbreaking. I felt like it was missing a lot though. Like I just felt some parts were kind of slow. Like, you see a lot of like her day-to-day life as she was kind of trying to survive, so I felt like there kind of could have been a little bit more action going on, just a little bit. So I did enjoy it, but not enough to give it more than 3 stars, but I might try another book by this author. We'll see. So the next book that I want to talk about is Over the Line by Kelly Irvin. I buddy read this with Hicks Picks Books. I will link her channel down below. But Becca and I read this together, and I think we both kind of gave it roughly the same rating, which was 3 stars. It was okay. It's a kind of a romance suspense book. I probably didn't like it that much because I don't remember what it was about. I know it's about the gun cartel in Mexico, like on the border of Mexico and Texas. The stranger comes up to her to her car and calls out her name. She has no idea who he is, and he drops dead right in front of her. And she has no idea who this guy is. And I believe he mentions her brother as well. And she's like, how does my brother know him? So it's all about that and trying to figure out what's going on, who is involved with this gun cartel happening. And it was okay, but I didn't really like the romance part of it. I just felt it was very kind of like these two really shouldn't be together. Like, they had a lot of trust issues. Like, the girl had a ton of trust issues. Like, the guy kept trying to tell her that the girl that I guess like in the past, like there was a girl who she found at his apartment, and she wouldn't even listen to him with his explanation, and it went on like that. And this is Christian fiction, and I just felt like the girl she really didn't show a great Christian outlook in her life. I felt like she was very kind of like not willing to just even talk to him and let him explain what was going on and stuff. So I did kind of like the ending, though. I liked how she kind of changed a bit more at the end and realized what was going on. And so yeah, so it was 3 stars. It was just okay. I do have a couple more books by this author that I do want to try, so hopefully I will enjoy them a little bit more. The next book that I want to talk about, I read Murder on the Orient Express by Agatha Christie, and I buddy read this with my friend Debbie, and both read it, and she really enjoyed it. I was just kind of, it was okay to me. This is my second book by Agatha Christie, and it was just okay to me only because I have seen the newer movie version, and I actually really love the movie version, so I kind of already knew what was going on from the book, and so I was like, this isn't as exciting to me. And honestly, this is one of the times where I think I enjoyed the movie more than the book. So yeah, so it's all about how Hercule Poirot goes on this train, and he discovers that a man has been murdered on the train, and so they need to figure out exactly what is going on. And yeah, so I'm not gonna say much about it because I don't want to be spoilery, but it was okay. I feel like people would enjoy this if they've never seen the movie before, and it would spoil yourself if you've seen it, but it was just okay to me. Sometimes I enjoy a movie and then I read the book and I enjoy it too, but not this time. Okay, the next one I'm going to talk about is Flunk by Joan Bauer. I gave this book 3 stars. Oh, I'm so sad. Like, it's not that I did not enjoy it, because I did give it 3 stars. But if you know me, Joan Bauer is one of my absolute favorite authors, and this is my 3rd book that I've read by her so far, and it was 3 stars. So this is about a Cupid doll who just like, is he in front of the car? I can't remember if he's in front of the car. They just find him in the garbage. But this girl takes him home, and he's just a Cupid doll. So she wakes up and she finds that he's alive and real, and so he's supposed to help her either with her high school like grades and stuff, helping her that way, helping her with her photography, or helping her with love. And so she was able to choose which one, and I mean, guess which one she's gonna pick? Obviously. She picks love, and a lot of stuff ensues, and it's kind of all about how there's a lot of manipulation in here. Like, it's kind of funny watching this guy like fall in love with her even though he really doesn't realize what's going on. So it was cute in that aspect. I liked kind of the storyline. It wasn't a favorite for me, but I will keep it because the cover is super cute and I did enjoy the storyline. It just kind of fell flat for me, but I think other people would enjoy this. I just felt the main character was a little bit kind of not necessarily not pushy, but like I felt like she really didn't know what she wanted, but I'm kind of glad that she learned her lesson at the end. Joan Bauer's really good at kind of helping her characters out and learning at the end that that her problems need to change and she needs to find out what's going on. So yeah, a little bit scattered in my thoughts about this one, but it was okay, and I will definitely be reading more by this author. I do still love her. Okay, next one I'm going to talk about is A Stranger's Game by Colleen Coble. I finally got to this one last month, and oh, I always give her a book 4 or 5 stars, but this one wasn't a favorite for me. Okay, so Stranger's Game is about a girl who she kind of goes undercover at her father's hotel to try to figure out what happened to a friend of hers that they believe was suicide, but she knows that it was not and something happened to her. So she goes to this hotel and she ends up trying to discover what happened and how her friend was killed. And it is a standalone. It is not a series. So here we go. Here's the better ones. Okay, the next one that I want to talk about is When Stars Are Scattered by Victoria Jameson and Omar Mohammed. And this is my second time reading this book, and I gave it 4 stars. I really love this book. I read the physical book last year, and this year I listened to the audio, and I love it both ways. I may even love it more in audio because there are multiple narrators in the book and there's background noises. So like you can hear like water splashing in the background, you can hear birds and animals, and it was so cool. If you want a good audiobook, I highly recommend this book. It was a great story. So these 2 kids are refugees escaping from Kuwait during the war, and they kind of lost track of their mom. So they have kind of a foster mom there as they're at the refugee camp, and it's just all about their lives, how the one boy, he starts school, and they're kind of just waiting, seeing if they will be, sent to Canada or to Europe or the US, and just kind of just their wait, and just like the long and hardship wait of just waiting for news, and their life in school and stuff. And it's really good. I love it. It's based on a true story, so definitely check that out as well. Okay, the next book that I gave 4 stars is Dust by Kara Swanson. This is a Peter Pan retelling. I love it. I cannot wait to read the sequel, and I'm hoping to get to it this month. If I have time, I will. But this is about a girl who she is, I believe, a foster kid, but she lost her brother, and she believes he was kidnapped by Peter Pan. And so she goes to England trying to find out. There are people she can and cannot trust. We made Hook. I don't know exactly what to think of Hook right now. So we'll see what happens along with him, but it's good. And there's this girl that kind of, she has this dust on her body. It's really cool, actually. I'm kind of enjoying it, but like it's dangerous for people to touch her, and she has no idea what this dust is. But you find out later on what it is. I'm not going to spoil that, but yeah, it's a cool and fun Peter Pan retelling, so I highly recommend that one. It's fun. Okay, and then the last 4-star book, The Princess Tales Volume 2 by Gail Carson Levine. And this is a reread for me. I read this years and years and years ago, and I still really, really enjoy her fairy tales. They're not necessarily, like, they're kind of twists of classic fairy tales, but she puts her own spin on them, and I love them so much. And they're just a good time. I really do enjoy them. Really good. Really good. I don't have much to say about them just because they're fairy tales and they're just fun. They're just fun. Okay, on to the 5 stars. No, one more 4-star, sorry. Only because it wasn't on my list. I read the entire trilogy of the Zeta graphic novels. I don't have them with me because I returned them from the library. But the first book was 4 stars and the second 2 were 5 stars. And I love them. I did DNF though the one about Zeta and Somebody Jack. It's like kind of like combines two different graphic novels, and I didn't like that one. So I ended up DNFing that one. But the first 3 Zeta books, I love them. I thought they were so much fun. It's about a girl and her friend who end up finding a doorway into space, and so they end up going into space and kind of just trying to help this planet. I did really enjoy that series, so if you like graphic novels, I believe it's middle grade. Yeah, it's middle grade, but it's a good series and it's a lot of fun. All right, and then I reread The Velveteen Rabbit by Marjorie Williams. I believe that's her name, if I can read my paper right. Anyways, so I reread this one. I just read the ebook, and it's just so cute. I love it. It was a childhood book that I had growing up, and it was just so cute. It's about this rabbit who he's a stuffed animal, and a horse that is kind of in the room with him tells him, you know, that you're not real, but you can be real if your boy loves you enough. That's all about this little stuffed bunny's life, and how he becomes a real bunny by the end of the story. And it's just really cute. I love this. I think The Velveteen Rabbit is like a classic. I love that book so much. I can actually put that on like my classic lists, because I think it's a classic. Okay. So the last book that I want to talk about was my favorite of the month, and that is Monster Friends by Katie Van Dorn. And we have the same name, just her name is spelled really like kind of cool, but if they mix up the letters, then my name. Okay, so Monster Friends. I love this book so much. This cover is so cute, and the author does her own drawings, which I love that. I love that the author does her own drawings. But I got my mom to read this book, and she loved it too. It was cute, and I was like, this is a new favorite. So I ended up buying myself a copy. Like, I was just like, okay, we're just gonna go for it, because it's just too cute, and I love it. And it was supposed to be, I thought it was middle grade, but I think it's actually elementary age. So it's good for any age, and it's just fun. It's just about a bunny monster kind of creature who befriends this little black creature. Like, he's just so cute. This little black fuzzy creature is just so adorable. Little one-eyed creature. But he befriends him, and he's like, come on an adventure with me. Or she. I believe it's a she. She's like, come on an adventure with me. And he's like, no, it's okay. I'll just stay home, and, you know, I don't like adventures. But it's really cute, and she takes him on all these cute little adventures, and it's absolutely perfect. Look at the back. This is Reggie is grouchy, Emily is curious. Yeah, that pretty much sums them up. But it's really cute. These are the books that I read this month, along with a lot of others that I don't have physical, but there they are. And last month wasn't the greatest, but I did find a lot of graphic novels I enjoyed, which surprises me, because I don't normally like graphic novels. I like comic books. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe down below. But I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you all in the next video. See, I should never make pictures, because you can't read these. I don't want to have to put it back, so we're just going to put it there, and hopefully it doesn't fall. Cannot read those. I have this one. Ugh. Where am I going to put this? I guess I'll put it back up there. What's his name? Almost dropped the book. Stay. Okay. I don't even remember what was it about? Like, I seriously don't remember what it was about. Wow. This is how my brain works sometimes. I go completely blank, even though I liked it, but I have no idea. Now I remember. I can get it. I can get the name of the country. No, I can't. What is it? Kuwait, that's it. Which I can't find for some strange reason. It's probably still downstairs, I'm guessing. And then the last 5-star. No, this is this month. I had 2 books on my lap. I'm so confused right now. I'm like, did I read this last month or this month? This month. So no, we're not going to talk about that. That was always good.